Okay, so Collin.
What's up?
So we just pulled to that light, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And what did that car do?
You almost got hit.
Like, he saw the
lights, people.
Yeah. He gasses it.
Yeah.
So, okay, so in the state of Colorado, if you're driving, you come up to the yellow light, what exactly on the legal side of things does it, on the law, what does the yellow light say? What does it mean?
So let me back up. One of the things that drives me crazy is this particular fact, because here in places like, we're in Grand Junction right now, and we're driving on North Street, and a lot of the lights in Grand Junction don't have a left green arrow for turning. And so you'll have 3 lights that are all green, and you have to yield to oncoming traffic. So what ends up happening is these lights don't last very long, and so you see a lot of people running yellow lights. So the technical rule for yellow lights in particular is if you're in the intersection at the time of the yellow light, you are supposed to clear the intersection. So if I'm in the intersection and it turns yellow, I'm supposed to clear it. If you are not in the intersection, you are supposed to stop. And a lot of people get that confused. Most people see a yellow light and they gun it. They hit the accelerator. You're not supposed to do that. And if you cause an accident during that course, you're technically at fault if you don't have the right of way, which you don't if it turns yellow and you're not in the intersection. Because what ends up happening with a lot of these lights where people are waiting for turns or with the ability to turn left is they'll pull into the intersection and they'll start to make a left-hand turn when the other cars coming from the opposite direction are stopping. So if there's cars, again, coming through the intersection and it turns yellow, they have to clear, but everyone else is supposed to stop. I cannot tell you how many accidents I've seen because of that one issue. So if you're driving and you're coming up to a green light and it turns yellow, stop. It's the best way to keep yourself safe.
Okay, so let's say you're in the middle, right? Okay, so we're turning left. We're going to turn left at this one. We get there, yellow light. We go ahead and pull out in the intersection a little bit. Are we allowed to do that?
Yes. You're allowed to lead. You're allowed to lead it, especially if it's green, right? I can't say I necessarily recommend that because again, that a lot when left-hand turns are being taken and people don't know the rules. A lot of time accidents happen because of that exact issue. Right? They pull out, they want to clear the intersection. They don't know if oncoming traffic's going to stop. Like that happens a lot.
Okay. So
I wouldn't recommend it.
So we're turning left, right? We never get an opportunity. Lights finally going yellow. Looks like cars are slowing down. We take a left. And one of the other cars tries, in the other lane, oncoming traffic, tries to beat it. We hit. Who's at fault there?
It depends.
Let's say it's yellow still.
Right, if it's both yellow,
right,
and the other car is not in the intersection, right, the law would say that the person in the intersection is supposed to clear it, right? Because you lose the legal right of way when you go into an intersection after the light turns yellow.
Okay.
Right, so, right, and again, in most particular circumstances, there's usually going to be some liability on both parties.
Both sides,
because you can't move into the intersection. You can't block the intersection. So a lot of people move into it. They're in the intersection. They're blocking it, and then the light turns, and they have to clear the intersection. Right, and so as a rule of thumb, right, don't enter intersections on a yellow light if you're going forward, and try not to enter intersections when you're trying to make a left-hand turn, whereas you have to clear it suddenly, right? That's going to be the safest way. If everyone did that, there would be a lot of accidents that are avoided. It's really, really common in Grand Junction. I can't tell you how many cases I've had that exact scenario. So basically, don't enter the intersection.
Don't race the yellow.
On a yellow, yes.
All right, sounds good.
And if you have been in an accident of that type, knowing the particular facts of that happening are really, really important. A lot of stuff is happening right now, and sometimes people aren't aware of it. I can't tell you how many people have said, oh, I have a green light, or I've had a red light, or I have a yellow light, and you're just completely wrong. So make sure you're talking to somebody that knows what they're talking about, and make sure you get all available data. It's amazing how many stores and all that have cameras these days, you know, and the cameras can be very, very telling as to what actually happened. So
if they have a question about, you know, let's say they're involved in an accident, let's say they just had a question, they don't know if they're at fault or not. I mean, is it okay?
Yeah,
is it advisable to just call an attorney?
Yeah,
just to ask,
especially with personal injury lawyers. Right, so much of it is factually significant. You have to make your decisions based on the specific fact of that situation, because something that might look like is clear cut, right? Like this light just turned red and yellow right as I was coming up to it, so I stopped because I didn't want to pull into the intersection. But so much of the legal theories are very fact specific, right? If I pull out into an intersection and I'm trying to clear it, and the person was driving way too fast for the conditions, for example, coming the other way, even if they had the right of way, sometimes that can create a situation where they actually are more responsible. All right, so accidents can be very, very fact specific. You know, the police investigation can be very helpful, but no personal injury attorney worth their salt is going to charge you for asking a question, right? That's just not how it works. Call, find out information, so you can figure out what's going on, if you're entitled to compensation, or even if you just need a vehicle fixed or something like that. Always call and ask.
Okay, so let's say someone wanted to call you and ask, you know, where do they call you at?
Oh, they call me at Earl and Earl, obviously.
Okay.
Right? They can call the main office at 719-900-2500, or they can call one of our investigators, and whose number I don't know off the top of my head.
719-849-5335.
Yeah, that number.
There
you
you
can call
go.
them there.
Awesome. All right.